As we move forward, I want to take this opportunity to remind you of what a wild and wondrous period of time we've been enjoying. You know, we're going to be talking about the December revelations. However, before we do, let's take a moment and just reflect that we have been traveling on the Ascension Escalator since 2015.
Wow. Now that 2015 Ascension Escalator for Sri and I began in Guatemala. And so over that entire time of the Ascension Escalator, we have had the honor of living with the Mayan, moving into Uruguay and all of the experiences of Uruguay, coming up and balancing and stabilizing in Ecuador, where full circle, we are now working with the Mayan energy again in Mexico, bringing that Ascension Escalator to the birth, to the absolute, bring your hands to your heart moment of December, when the vision, the blessing, the ground zero, so to speak, experience at TOSA Blue Mountain is happening right now. And I want you to mark the equinox, the March equinox on your calendar right now, because you will have a chance. If you cannot get here in person, and you really need to, but if you cannot get here in person, you mark that equinox weekend as well as New Year's Eve, because both will broadcast live from here, and you want to be a part of this. We have so much more to share. All those big announcements coming New Year's Eve. You want to register right now. And then you want to kind of settle in and do what Sri and I do, get your favorite beverage, right? Tonight, I'm doing one of my favorites. This is rose cardamom, and it's rose cardamom and I think mint, one of my favorite teas.
And I'm enjoying Wayusa tea from the Amazon here in Ecuador.
And Sri and I, we invite you to hold your hands to your heart. Sri and I will be literally checking out, even everyone who's around us knows, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, this coming week, Sri and I, for the first time coming into our 5th year here, in our 5th year of living here, for the first time, we are going deep into the Amazon. We must get on a plane, go to Quito, get on a van, drive another 4 hours. We are going to be deep in the Amazon. We are going to be filming. So hold that energy, because it is our intention to make contact with the Shalar people and make sure that their voice is heard at this March equinox event as well. So just a hint of what's going on behind the scenes, and that next Monday, we'll have some sneak peek of what happened in the Amazon. So should we dive in? We're at the top of the escalator. What is the escalator? So why don't we first and foremost, what is the escalator? Well, for those of you that may not know, way back when, in 2015, Sri and I came forward, the Ascended Mastery Presence came through, and we delivered the 7 polarities of free will. It was the vast potentialities that came through, that were charted, and that we taught in 2015. We taught in 2016. It has been available in our home study program since that time. And we've arrived at a moment right now where that chart, that escalator, as we described it, is completing.
Yes.
We're here. So what does that mean? What's going on, Sri?
Well, let me bring this chart up and share it. So let's take a peek here, because this isn't a moment to teach this, but it is a moment to feel it, to understand the flow that we have shared together as a tribe of humanity.
Well, and to celebrate the accuracy.
Yes.
Because, you know, it's really important to pay attention that this was not written today. This came through the Master Lady Kira Ra experience in 2015, when we were still living in Guatemala.
Yes.
And so sincerely, let's all pay attention, because I remember, Sri, when we first put this out, I remember the hate mail when we even used the word polarities, people telling us, you know, all kinds of interesting things. And that's why this was taught then, but now it's being celebrated, because look where we are and where are we going? Oh my God.
Well, and it's important to recognize that for those of you that can maintain or even just visit your ascended presence, you'll discover that this column here on the chart that has the ascended energy lists the qualities that were being cultivated through the experience of the polarity. And this is one of the gifts of maybe a little hindsight and a recognition of the truth of human learning. is we tend to pulse, we tend to learn through contrast until such time as we anchor a clear choice to hold and integrate an energy. So as we look at 2015 and the flow from fear to on one side, and the expressions of fear to the expressions of trust and the ascended energy of peace, and take a peek here at this chart. I'm not going to read it all to you, but I want you to just tune in to the dynamic that we have lived through together.
Well, and I have to jump in, because when you look at this and you look at, it was the choice. This was all about choice. We put out our book, 2012, You Have a Choice. It was not about 2012. It was about humanity itself. And so we look at what that planetary thought body energy of fear, and we were talking about how we had just had the collapse of the fourth dimension. And it was because of that collapse of the fourth dimension that this force of destruction, this fear energy, was actually finding propulsion. And that these polarity potentialities, there are 7 expressions of the polarities of free will. And that's actually what opened the ascension escalator, because both of these escalators are moving.
Yes.
The question is, which one are you on? And what's really powerful here is look right there in the middle. You have the density energy and the ascended energy. And here's where we're at right now in 2021, lack or abundance. And go back 2020, hopelessness or trust. How about 2019, greed or love?
Yes.
Control or compassion. Look at the journey we've been on. And as we mentioned, it's not about sharing that as much as saying we have arrived at the moment where all of that is integrating. And on New Year's Eve, we will be going through all of it and moving into the very first Insoulment for this coming experience where consciousness has not ever been before.
We are at an amazing time because of these, having danced through the polarities. I think each and every one of us is in a place to make a clearer choice, to claim our mastery presence, to integrate our mastery presence, and to be available for the next chapter.
So the choice is yours. And remember that right now in this moment, this very moment, at the end, the culminating moment of November, when we have already stepped into the energy of 2022, this culminating moment of November is the final breath of choice.
Yes.
In a year of the ascended energy of choice. As December 1 all moves into the awareness of the choice, as the first month of awareness of the year of awareness of 2022, which is the 6th, with the infinite presence, the Merkaba of self-ascension, lifting into creation and coming forward as the law of instantaneous manifestation, thereby sustaining the sea of neutrality, whereby that which is out of balance can come into balance as all contributors rise and come into the table as collaborators. Breathe up into the moment that's before us. This moment has not ever been, because we collectively, enough of us have not ever been this awake to sustain the frequency. You know, was it yesterday morning or this morning? The days are blending. We had a 7.5 earthquake.
Yeah,
it was yesterday morning, and it was 5:52, and I was sitting in bed, and I actually remember the time because I looked at the clock, and even though that earthquake epicenter was in Peru and it was a 7.5, I can share with you that Shri and I, who were up and walking around, I felt the earthquake sitting in bed, but Shri did not feel it until I pointed it out to him, because he was standing on the bedrock of TOSA Blue Mountain, where no matter how bad the ground was shaking, he was still standing in this energy of divine stability. And that we're sharing with you because that is the moment. 2022 is a profound moment for all humanity. It is a moment where we must explore this mysterious universe, because if we do not, and if we do not say yes to seeing what needs to be seen, and if we do not walk through any remaining fear of seeing it, saying it, being it, and doing it, then the new world, this birth, is going to get stuck.
Yeah.
And the last thing we want to do is deliver a stillbirth. And so collectively, our consciousness has brought us to the moment where we are awake enough to explore this mysterious universe and to collectively celebrate it. So that's where we've arrived. And the rest of that story is New Year's Eve. You have got to be there. Make sure you click on the link. It's either right here in the video description at YouTube. It's in the chat if you're with us live. Get there, be there. $8.88 is our suggested donation. 100% of this is a donation, and $11.11 or more. Get the calendar.
You know, it's important to remember that what defines us is our consciousness,
right?
And the way we behave and live in authentic alignment with what we know is so. Yeah. Technology does not save anything. Mm-hmm. It is the consciousness that utilizes the technology that is the gift that we can offer, or simultaneously the destructive force that we can deploy. And so we are at a critical moment in our human experience because our consciousness has lifted. And it's time to come forward and radiate that. And so we can all be in harmony to the highest extent capable.
And so mark your calendar, December 10, YouTube, official Sri and Kira, YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio. Make sure you are subscribed to both. We're going to show you our trailer. Here's the show that we're birthing. Be there. Watch. And so, hey guys, make a note. And if you want to be on our show, send us why. What part of this incredible universe are you exploring? What story do you know? And make sure you send that to us. Go ahead and send that to support@selfascension.com. We are already receiving that. Also, are you a musician? Are you crafting amazing music? Are you a comedian? Do you have something that you would like to share with our Oneness Experience audience? Get those submissions in, because this is the moment. Together, we are better.
Yes. We look forward to hearing from you and sharing your voice, your vision with others.
We are excited. And so, speaking of excited, let's dive into this moment right now. December. And I just wanted, I have to sit up, Shri. We have to sit up and bring our hands to our heart when we start discussing December, because before I dive into what this December energy means, because remember, this is that awareness moment. We are starting 2022 right now. That peak ascension escalator, I was giggling with people today saying, we're literally at the moment where it's saying, you know, ding, ding, ascension, you know, we're here.
Time to move forward.
Right. But remember, it was those polarity energies of, am I riding that escalator of fear, which is also rising, or am I riding the escalator of trust? And knowing that you cannot keep jumping between the two, and that both of these escalators are already here. In the way that time has been moving, we are already here. So I want to do a quick recap as to how we got here, because it can be confusing, and especially with the 2022 up-level calendar coming out. This is unlike anything you have ever seen, and because it's coming out in 2 days, we are not doing anything about it except saying, get your registration for New Year's, make your donation $11.11 or more, and get the calendar right away. You need to see this. So how did we get where we are? Well, it first began with the spiral time ignition of this year. Now, remember that what you're staring at here on the outer rim, what you're seeing is, this is like a cross section of the discus of Vishnu that ignited with the 8-8 Lion's Gate of 2020. So that was when that women wellness awakening, that was when that divine trinity of the feminine energy came forward and ignited this 0 point energy field, this discus of Vishnu. And in the center, you see that eye right there? Well, that's where we are right now. And you'll notice that you see those 3 green rings that are coming out. We're going to talk about those again. And you see that, again, this is all a cross section. Well, what that is, that discus of Vishnu, which was the wellspring of the ignition through the unified field of the balance of the masculine and the feminine through the empowered feminine rising, called forward this new Taurus field of creation. And you're staring at the cross section, which became this year. So remember that everything this year had already happened, is happening, will happen again, and is an eternal moment for your mind of form, honestly, to get ready for what's coming. That's why the calendar is blowing my mind. If you look in the middle, you see coming up and out of the eye, that is that 0 point ignition. And this final gate, you see that November, December green circle there, is the eye. It is the moment where we are in the middle of that Taurus field as that 0 point generator through the ignition of our divine mastery presence, thereby able to command the form to morph and virtually become anything it wants. My body currently is the same size I was when I was, I believe, 27. And so this is really a moment where the mastery general presence, your divine mastery presence, is looking at you and saying, if you're ready, then let me help you. Mm-hmm. You have all the assistance you need because this moment in consciousness has arrived. Thereby, we are creating this together. So as we move through that, I want to offer you another share. If you're not, it's like, okay, Kira, I'm hanging with you, right? I get it. I get it. All right. We're going to go back to November because we're still here, aren't we? Right? We're here right now at the 29th, but you see where we are? We're in a moment. We're in that. I love to refer to it as a still point of creation. Right? Yeah,
it feels like we're on a bit of a plateau, the stillness and getting ready to birth the next flow. Mm-hmm. And November is definitely been a month of flow. Have you noticed how much has transpired in your life and what has come forward?
Yeah, well, the flows, right?
Yes.
And when you look at that 29th that Shri was just sharing, even yesterday, but you want to go all the way back to last Friday. How has your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday unfolded? Because here's what's going to happen tomorrow. On Tuesday, you see that breath, that beautiful dragon breath. Let us not forget that this was the 3rd gate. That was what we just saw on that spiral energy. This was the 3rd gate as that rising phoenix dragon just started spinning. That was the whole month. The energy of this month was the flows, that flow of energy in the conscious awareness of choice. And on Tuesday, tomorrow, that energy of healing, vitality, health, resurrection is going to literally lift up, uplift, propel the cycle of the phoenix dragon so that through this moment right now, humanity will arrive into December. Take in a breath, bring a hand to your heart. Here's where we are in 2 days. And what I find so powerful, Shri, is that you and I are going to be heading into the Amazon. Right. And you notice where we're going. Shri and I will actually, the illuminated new moon solar eclipse up level is the day that it's our final day. As we leave the Amazon, we will return to TOSA Blue Mountain on the 5th. And if you look at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right now, these 3 days that are the overlap. So look at the calendar that we were just at. Everything was in that kind of floaty energy. Right. But what you're not seeing is look at the eye. Remember, as we were just looking in that concentric dimensionality in that spiral time, it's all about everything weaving into the open eye, awareness. This 3rd gate is amplifying as the ascent to 2022 not only begins, has already begun, because remember, this is the month of awareness and all of 2022 is a year of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
We are here. It is now. And the other thing I want to bring to your attention is the 19th of December.
Wow, you know, the flow, the artwork in the calendar communicates so
Everything.
much of this flow.
Right?
And then we superimpose the linear progression of the days, and we get a glimpse of the energies that are impacting those days, and the Venus retrograde, full moon peak up level.
This Venus retrograde is so powerful, so feminine, so balanced, that it ignites for 2022. It will all be about the full moon. 2022 is going to be one of those years where you're birthing every month. Like you're just going to birth, and it's going to be, you're going to birth again, you're going to birth again, you're going to birth again. So that at the end of 2022, the 12 gifts of 2022 will be yours to command through your divine mastery presence, fully ignited in the seventh dimensional experience of presence in form. And I want you to breathe that in, because that's why Shri and I are doing the year-long journey, because this is not easy to do alone, because it has never been done before. It is one of those gifts where we are sincerely better together, and the 5-star generals are being called up.
To anchor your ascended presence takes commitment. It takes focus. It takes a community that will radiate and mirror back to you the love of your authenticity.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so as we remind you that you have a choice, that this is the time to claim, integrate, and radiate your divine mastery presence. All year long in 2022, we will be having small groups. We'll be doing private workshops, and it'll be just for those who have said, yes, I am committed to being that which I truly am, and radiating that which is of the highest healing presence while I am in this body.
Now, I want you to bring a hand to your heart, because the only prerequisite for this year is your knowing that you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And we have already begun, but it's okay. You can get the videos and you can get caught up, just get in there, be a part of that. What's important to realize and remember, and I want you to just really bring your hands to your heart right now. Yeah, there you are. You are at the moment of ignition, and you are worth it. But you need to know that. To anchor in the seventh dimension, and the reason that Shri and I must take this year, and we personally will only be teaching this program for the year, because we have been instructed by the ascended realms that this is where we must focus. We must help those that are called, this first wave of generals, to attain this seventh dimensional anchoring. Because remember that to be in the seventh dimension is to anchor outside the realms of judgment of self and others, to fully hold that sea of neutrality through your divine mastery presence that is the ignition of the law of instantaneous manifestation, which we are very much modeling here at TOSA Blue Mountain, as are many other beautiful beings, all that you're going to meet New Year's Eve. So make sure you're there. So in this moment, breathe in the knowing of that birth, and breathe in the moment of knowing this moment. There we are. Because I want to offer you one more quick share, and simply this graphic to help really bring a wrapper on all of this. You see that golden escalator there, right? That's been those past 7 years. What have the past 7 years done for you? I mean, my goodness, Shri, for you and I, it's been, Guatemala, Uruguay, Ecuador, all these things. And then this diamond ray ignition. This diamond ray ignition is a miracle. This has never happened before. And it's happening in the energy of the 7-year ascension escalator culmination. And you see, it's like we're all at the top of the escalator. This is what that escalator of trust looks like. And we're going to have a lot more to share about this. But where are you right now? Because tonight's Insoulment really talks about that.
Absolutely. And once again, we are so touched and honored to be the custodians and the mentors and the ones that are living this energy so that we can share it with you authentically, to be able to say, yes, this is so. Yes, this is available. And yes, it is time.
Right? It is time. And so
it's a wonderful time to be awake.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, right? Fear or trust. And here's the key, guys. We've had 7 years to get here. Shri and I have given you our lives over the past 7 years. We have all been loved so much that the universe has said, hey, we're going to give you 7 years. It's going to be an escalator. You get to hold on to the handrail. We're going to tell you ahead of time what the potentialities are. And when we taught this, and if you have those original class tapes, we taught it then that there was still time to affect the shift. And so the gift is that we have all learned how to navigate the time potentialities. We have opened the up level during this time because we have been steadfast on this escalator. The miracles have happened, are happening, and continue to happen. And so the miracle of 2022 is, number one, it's happening. It's a miracle. Yes. It is a miracle. And I know you know that. And so this is a celebration that we made it to the top of the Ascension Escalator. And that I loved how Shri was sharing, and I want to put up the calendar one more time, the November calendar. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I have
to go get it.
No worries. We're not going to do that. So what I will share is this, that when Shri was talking about, it feels like we're out there on that nice plateau. We just arrived. You just got off of an escalator that you have been riding for 7 years. I don't know about you, but literally, Shri and I have spent the past few days where it's been, now let's adjust to what our life is looking like now.
And I want to offer you a little tidbit here, because how many times are you on a journey and your attention might be over here and you don't realize how far you've gone?
Right?
Because your soul knows the way. You have participated to whatever degree of consciousness that you were able to muster at the moment, given all the stresses of life and distractions and all the things that go on in life. And we are at a place where it's time to take a breath and say, okay, I am here.
I am here.
I am ready.
I am ready.
I am open. And I am guided. And therein, we activate our higher guidance and our conscious awareness. And it is our time to continue the journey through re-upping, making the choice, and saying fear is a giggle. Fear is just something that rises and falls. It does not define me, because I trust the divine nature of my essence.